Namaskar, parents. So, today the topic of discussion is parenting for teens. One of the most challenging time for kids when they are entering teens, and even more challenging, if I should say, for parents. The change in behavior patterns, the change in mood swings, the change in how they are relating, how they are interacting. It looks like the world has transformed itself tipsy-turvy. Looks like what has happened, what was wrong last just a year ago. Nothing of this kind the child ever displayed, and now suddenly you see the child wants to stay alone, doesn't feel like interacting much, is talking more and more monosyllables. Yes, a lot of yes no answers, one word answers, they tend to come in. What goes wrong? When I reflect to when I was teens, and when I see my daughter moving into that zone, somewhere, yes, that connection does feel like lost. One thing that we as parents cannot afford to ignore is the tool that this generation has, which is called social media. And a teen may not be too active on Facebook, Instagram initially, but YouTube is definitely one place where all these people are going and watching a lot of videos. So keeping monitoring on what are they watching and how much of screen time. Lot of questions. So of course, one video on teen will never suffice. I would be talking about it even more, but just to get some basic understanding of teen is what I thought. Let's begin. So the question again remains, how do we relate to the child? Are we coming from the space of love, or are we coming from the space of I am the parent, I know best? When I am the parent, I know best, of course the answers are going to be in monosyllables. But when you are coming from the space of love and real concern, you will be able to discuss quite a lot of things with the child which otherwise would be difficult. So the first thing that I would ask every parent to maintain is a lot of patience. Trust me, you are going to need it. Full tank, full tank, full tank. Patience, patience, patience is the key. You might feel that, oh my god, I just cannot take it anymore. It might just come onto your nerves. Yet, not much choice. Because if you yell at the child, and if you shout and you be demanding, they are smart at getting into their own shells, only relating with their friend circles, because that is where they feel that they are being heard and understood, and not interacting with you way high. So patience, 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 non-negotiable. This is not something that one can compromise with. uh, you know Clench your jaws, feel in pressure, and yet tell yourself. Take that 5-second pause, which is very, very effective when you are clenching your teeth, when you are feeling like bursting out, when you are feeling that now you will have it from me. Take just 5 seconds. And for this, that awareness that you hold is very, very important. Take those 5 seconds and tell yourself, okay, I know this is not working, but my yelling is not going to work even. That might even get worse. So I've already talked about, shouldn't we yell at all? Can't we raise our voice at kids at times? Oh, please go ahead. There is no rule book that says 100% no yelling. No. It really depends upon the type of tendencies that the child has. There are children who are normally little calmer. There are children who are averagely active. There are children who are super active, especially when it comes to arguments and giving defenses for anything that they do. The mechanism is always up. So at times, and if you wish to maintain certain ratio, 30% yelling is all right, acceptable. So at times you can shout at them, and it becomes important, especially if the child is little argumentative in nature, if the child is a problem creator, all the time shows the problem and is not looking at the solution. And if the child is always ready with the justifications, go ahead and do yell at times. But how frequent? Not very frequent. One reason for it is, and I will always say, is if you are doing it regularly, the child has adjusted to this behavior of yours, and the child has already stopped paying you attention. Everything that you are saying is falling into deaf ears. So it becomes important that you are patient with them. Now coming to how do we talk to them? Again, the matter is of, are you commanding or are you discussing? Are you demanding, giving orders? How is it for you? If you are asking, how do you perceive the situations? And these are wonderful questions. How do you think this situation is going to help you? Or are you aware what kind of situation this act is going to create for you? Things like, what will help you to understand the situation better? How would you like to resolve it? And many times, even for the days even that has passed, okay, so you behaved in this way with your friend or with me or some relative or sibling. What else you could have done? How could you have behaved alternatively? These questions allow the child's mind to move into a different direction. And one thing, if could be driven, are you a problem creator or a solution finder? Where would you like to be? The problem center or the solution center? Especially when the child is raising its voice, just simply very calmly ask, would you like to be the solution center or the problem center? You would see that most of the time the child will calm down. Now moving into very, very specific teenage issues. How do we understand teens? How do we understand teens? Do we recognize that they are actually going through a lot because of the hormonal changes that's happening in their body? We might be aware of it intellectually, but do we even have this much of awareness about how in our behavior do we show that compassion to the child, that we understand you are going through a lot of hormonal changes, and so your behavior also would get influenced? That is number one. Number two, do you even sit with your child and talk about these issues? Do you tell them when they are of 9 years, 10 years of age, that a time would come and now your body is moving towards the time that you will have some chemicals getting active in your body, which are called hormones. And this is very normal. There is nothing abnormal about it. This happens with everybody. This is very, very physical, very, very biological. There is nothing shameful about it. There is no guilt to feel about it. It is all right. So making the child comfortable with the changes that will happen, and then talking about it, that you have any idea what these hormones do? They change your thought process. You will see that they have influence on your mood. You will notice how they make you reactive, at times explosive. Do you talk to your child about all this? Where is the child gathering all this information? From their friends, which is the source half-baked, or internet? Where are they getting the information from? Because they will get the information. Nobody can hide such information. But how have you made them comfortable that it's okay, they are growing and this will happen and you can accept it wholeheartedly? Trust me, if you can sit and talk to the child in this language, um, in such expression, if your expression is such, you will see a very different behavior of your child. Because then the child feels that there is somebody who is not just concerned but also understands. Remember, awareness is much more important than intention. Having good intention is definitely needed, but if you do not know how to proceed, what to do, so we need to tell the children that, hey, it's not that I don't understand your phase and I am okay. And now also comes into picture how emotionally intelligent child are you making. So have you told them about the emotions that's gonna surge in them because of the hormonal changes? And have you talked to them that it's all right that the emotions happen in you? This is with everybody that happens. The only challenge is when you deny those emotions and hence you do not agree to handle those emotions. Why a depressed child is not able to talk about depression? Why a sad child is not able to talk about the sadness? Why does it happen that children push themselves to the extent of suicide and parents don't even get a feeler of that? Because we do not acknowledge their emotions. Because we do not tell them that it is all right to feel those emotions, especially this is very new to you because of the changes in the body. And you will slowly and gradually learn to handle, just to be a little cautious about it. It is all right to be like that. How many times have we told this to them? And I'm telling this again and again. If your discussion is not based on all this, trust me, your child is going to find out the details from all the half-baked sources. And then you know, half knowledge is a very dangerous thing. Not because the knowledge could be wrong, but also because the way the knowledge comes to them, with the taglines, with the labels, the kind of belief system it creates in their mind is not at all healthy. There is a lot of taboo around things, there is a lot of joking around things, there is a lot of denial and non-acceptance towards these things. And that is why it is said that parents need to become their friends. To be friends, are you also taking their advice? To be friends, are you also telling them that, this was difficult for me, and this was difficult for me when I was your age, and today I'm facing this difficulty. What advice would you give me? What would you suggest me? Do you go and tell them? Because if you have tried, you also would know they really come up with creative answers. So there is a bond between a parent and child. And with teens, please start explaining to them how the changes in physical body would happen and how the mind is going to get influenced, and that it is all right and that you are with them in the journey. Listen to them. Then only you can expect a healthy teenage child. At the same time, be mindful of the kind of tendencies that your child has taken birth with. Is the child a settled child? Is the child a very unsettled child? Is the child all the time super active? Is the child very talkative? Is the child more experimentative? What kind of child do you have? So you need to be spontaneous, mindful about how you are handling, how you are relating with your child. So once these things are done, parenting is not too challenging, although the challenges to parenting is really never ending. So more on teens in my upcoming videos. Thank you.